In today's video, we're going to talk about the Superman movie, James Gunn's Superman movie, which is realistically the title because everywhere says James Gunn Superman movie. Now, this is going to probably be the most controversial movie of the summer because you're going to either love it or you're going to hate it. Recently, I've been covering the Superman movie a fair bit, and I've been very vocal about it. But recently, got some pretty cool information that's changed my mind somewhat, and I really hope they can pull this movie off. They did bring out the most strange, weirdest main trailer you can ever do. So, yo, what is good, YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture-based content that I try to deliver on a daily basis. If you could, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And also, I've got a channel over there where I can post set leaks. I can post much more than I can on YouTube because YouTube have very strict guidelines. Also, check us out on TikTok. Yeah, lads and ladettes, you didn't see that coming. Warstu on TikTok because someone has stole the Warstu handle. It's very hard to get it back. Also, check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. Right, let's get into it. So, the Superman movie is essentially rebooting the whole of the DC EU into James Gunn's DCU, although it's not technically a full reboot because if you watch the Flash movie, you would understand. And anyone associated with James Gunn has pretty much come over from the DC EU to the DCU. So it will be very controversial when this movie comes out because a lot of people don't realize there is a lot of different versions of Superman in the comics. There just isn't one version. A lot of people criticize Henry Cavill's version, which Man of Steel is literally ripped straight from the comic books. And people say, yo, it's not Superman. Blows my freaking mind. So they've started to market this movie massively, which again takes up the production value in the sense of the movie has to make so much more money because they're spending more money to promote it. Yeah, it's cool, really cool to put an advert in central London, Piccadilly Circus. It's really cool to put a billboard up in New York Times Square. This costs a lot of money. So there's been a lot of test screenings, and you lads and ladettes like to come at me in the comment section. Come freaking hard, lads. And you keep saying, yo, there's test screening every day. No. When new information comes out, I report said information. So there's some new information that's come out and says the following. Honestly, this adds a whole new layer to the story. It's not just the action and heroic. It's about the power, responsibility, and the messy reality of global politics. Definitely one of the most thought-provoking takes on Superman I've seen. See, I find comments like this interesting because Henry Cavill's version of Superman was a what-if scenario. I don't even think the so-called Snyder fans actually understand what his version was. So Henry Cavill's version of Superman was, what if there was a Superman, like a real Superman, in the real-life world? How would people take to it? That's why he was a god to some people. That's why he was a devil to some people. That's why he was an angel to some people. That's why he was a savior to some people. So then when people say Henry Cavill's version of Superman was too dark and he wasn't hopeful at all, even Zack Snyder alleged fanboys that have jumped over to being James Gunn fanboys without even seeing anything. It's like every Superman will be very different, but the core values have always been the same. But I'm sure the new Superman, with the new Superman actor, who was recently in a Storm Chasers movie, pretty good movie, but his character was very forgettable. I'm pretty sure he will be a good Superman. So a lot of people have taken this going, oh my God, James Gunn is doing what Zack Snyder could never do. And it's interesting because these people at the time were hyping and being fanboys for that version of Superman. So this is why you've always got to take all screen test information with a pinch of salt. Because early reports suggest the initial test screening for James Gunn's Superman were met mostly positive and in comparison to the Guardians of the Galaxy level good. However, it's important to note that the film was still in early stages with visual effects unfinished. Some reports also suggested the response was very mixed initially, while some finding the phone very silly. So, realistically, test screen information shouldn't really be taken too seriously. But then you have to come into the world of influencers that kind of, get paid to say stuff. You just got to look at the promotion for the Flash movie. And that's why people are very cautious when it comes to believing information from test screenings. The movie financially didn't do well and didn't really do well with the critics. But you also had James Gunn saying it was like the greatest comic book movie ever, and James Gunn had nothing to do with it. We also had the likes of Tom Cruise coming out saying, the Flash movie, it was freaking insane. But it really wasn't. So the most recent information going around is very, very positive. In fact, the third act apparently makes people cry. But the main narrative and the plot of the movie hasn't really changed much. Although the most recent test screening, it was a different cut. But the main narrative was still realistically the same and had some post-credit scenes. Careful spoilers, don't ruin your life. Brainiac and allegedly Hal Jordan Green Lantern. But there's even rumors out there. I mean, these rumors are starting to get freaking insane. Absolutely insane. But there's also information going around that Batman, not actually Batman, but apparently Bruce Wayne appears at some point in the movie. And if they are working on Batman Brave and the Bold, Batman should already be cast. So if this is the case, they should introduce the new Batman inside the Superman movie, like they're going to put Supergirl in it to build up hype and be like, oh my God, James Gunn actually has some kind of plan. So, as we know, the real movie money comes not actually from the movie. What do you mean? It comes from toy sales. So there's information going around making out that the Superman merchandise is freaking selling out. But then if you actually look at the site and the source, it's not the case at all. It's really not the case at all. And people are saying, Superman movie's going to bang $1 billion. Toy sales are not exactly the same as box office. I really don't think people understand this. Only one movie, well, technically two. The movie of the year so far is an anime movie that's made $1.8 billion. Minecraft only just went over 900. And then it really dips down and falls off a wall. I mean, Captain America 4 is number 3. That movie is money. Thunderbolts, very good movie. How is it fourth? Made 300. The box office is dead at the moment, sadly. We need Fantastic Four, we need the Jurassic World Rebirth, and we need Superman to all go over $800 million. But the issue is, they're all releasing 1 week in between each other. That's a big problem. They really should be coming out separate times, or at least give them like a 3-week window in between them. So Superman movie is in trouble because the box office is dead at the moment. There will be some exceptions with movies like Lilo and Stitch that's just come out, and lower budget movies like Sinners and Final Destination, like really low budget movies. Exceptions because they don't really have to make much money. But the Superman movie has a lot of massive marketing budget, massive production budget. Regardless to the rumors going out, the Superman movie cost at least $300 million, which means it's going to have to hit at least 600 before marketing, plus, probably 100. So $700 million. Tax break taken away, I don't know, maybe 100 million comes off or so. So either way, it's going to have to make a lot of money. But I'm actually quite positive about this movie. And I know people keep saying, what is good, YouTube? Warstu here? I was just taking. I've got to report the good and bad. I'm not like the bigger DC channels who would just report the positive. You've got to report every side of the story. Otherwise, you're just reporting stuff with a huge bias. Now, the most recent test screens are pretty darn good. So overall, this movie will be good, but we know the plot leak's real. And the problem with the plot leak is the story is James Gunn writing. James Gunn's not very good at writing. Execution needs to be very good, then said movie could be very good. So I'm going to try and be more positive about the Superman movie because I'm so freaking hyped for it. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu. Check us out on TikTok, Warstu, and check us out on Twitter, Warstu, and I'll catch you in another video, guys, very soon. Catch you later.